With that being said, what's going on, family? Hope everybody's having a phenomenal day. Today's date is January 21st. It is another Sunday Outlook call. Looking to have a phenomenal week. I feel like the markets are definitely starting to take form after having a slow start. I witnessed some things starting to pick up last week. As we move into the second half of the first month of the year, right? Super excited to get into the rhythm, get into the flow, getting the mid-season form with the markets. So that's exactly what it is that we're looking to see happen today when it comes to the charts. All right. So with that being said, this is just a weekly outlook call. It's a call that we do to make sure you guys are adequately prepared for the setups that we could see potentially showing up over the course of the day or the week. All right. So we probably won't take any exact trade setups today, but we will be prepared for the potential trade setups that we could see happen over the course of the week. All right. So appreciate y'all for hopping on again. Won't be long, anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, and then we shall proceed. All right. So I'm just going to come on over here to my favorites real quick. And here we're actually still waiting on GU buys. I've been looking to get in GU buys down here around the 26265 area, right? 26265. Really looking to get into some buys. The market has just been kind of stalling out and consolidating, but this area of demand is very much still valid. All right. So in understanding that, we want to do our best to, be patient and allow these setups to come to us, because they may happen immediately, a couple hours after we mark it up, or it could happen a week after we mark it up, 2 weeks after we mark it up. Like, these zones are valid, these are points of interest, don't necessarily have a time limit on it. They don't really have a time frame in which they must be hit. So when we actually have a zone, mark it out and draw it out into the future, because whether it happens immediately or whether it happens down the line, we just want to be aware of those areas, right? So looking at GBP USD and noticing how, we cleared these equal lows right here. We had this low and then this wick that created an equal low, that made us clearly understand that there is liquidity resting underneath these 2 points. So as the market came and took, sell side liquidity right there, that just told me simply that the market is going to reverse up. And I wish I would have caught it down here, because that would have been an excellent buy opportunity. But since we didn't catch it, now we actually have to catch that secondary entry, right? This would have been more of the primary entry. Now we're looking for that secondary entry to come into play. All right. So when that happens, then we could see, some big buys continue to the upside. And if we really just look at this on a higher time frame, in my opinion, we have this impulsive move to the upside. And then, this corrective phase of the market is just going sideways in order to give us another impulsive move, right? So you see right here, we got this big impulsive move. And if we get another move like that, we could end up somewhere up here. And that would make some good sense, right? That would make sense considering, the market structure that we have over here. We have a high here that we came and cleared out before making new lows. So that gives us this area of supply resting over here. And that area of supply could definitely be attractive for the market to be, want to be drawn back into that area. So, seeing this impulsive move here, the market goes sideways. I am anticipating another impulsive move. Then once we get up to like the 292 area, then we'll readjust from there. All right. But for right now, this is exactly what I see happening. Again, this is the 4-hour chart. You can come down a little bit lower just to see a little bit more detail. You see here on the 30-minute. Got sell to buy candle here. The sell took out lows to the left, meaning that sell is, or this low is now strong. All right. So as we transition to the upside, seeing this area of imbalance right here is also important because the imbalance overlays where the selling began. So if the sell to buy candle was here, and we have imbalance here overlaying that price, that's a very good sign. So again, I'm looking for the market to come down to 2.6, 2.65, and then we should go bullish again. All right. So that's that. Let's take a quick look at Nas. It's been on this bullish tear, right? And I mean, man, I ain't gonna lie, this one hurt. This one hurt because, and if you're a part of the community, you know why. It's just, I made a rookie mistake, right? I took some buys like right here with a tight stop loss, and I got stopped out, right? And literally 15 to 30 minutes after that, the market took off. And for whatever reason, I just didn't simply zoom out to the 1 hour and just look to the left. I don't know if I was in a rush. I had a couple meetings last week. I don't know if that was one of the days I had to leave or something, but it was uncharacteristic of me to not just do this. If I just would have, peeked out like I typically do, I mean, I would have seen this set up perfectly, but just made a little mistake, right? And that's the thing about trading, man. Sometimes, if you miss that setup, you might not get another one for a while sometimes, just depending on what you trade, right? Now, obviously, there's a lot of currency pairs, but if you're somebody that only strictly trades one pair or you only trade Nas, like when Nas is ready to take off, that thing is ready to take off. So, unfortunately, I haven't been able to see any additional setups after, this massive rally. Obviously, indices are more susceptible to very shallow retracements where you can get in on those, shallow continuations. But for me personally, I haven't seen anything that really sticks out to me since then, right? But we knew the market was gonna make a higher high, just got in a little prematurely. I was talking about this on my story, and it's not a way for me to avoid accountability, but it is just the truth, right? I do my best to teach my team how to trade rather than only relying on signals because, even though I took a quick loss, me trading this by myself, I give myself 3 losses a day. I can lose up to 3 times a day before I stop trading, right? And I realized that, if I was just trading by myself, I would have easily, all right, took this first little loss, then got in again, right? But because that would have only been my second attempt for the day. Like you're not going to pick the right zone every time. Like it's not going to be the perfect supply or demand zone picked every single time you take a trade. So that's why I give myself multiple opportunities. But understanding that I did take a quick loss, I didn't want to go 0 for 2 or 0 for 3 for the day, especially in front of a crowd of people, right? So I did something uncharacteristic and I didn't trade again, right? Which I should have. And it just goes to show you like those little moments of hesitation can cause you to miss out on a trade like this, which is currently up 1 to 13, almost 1 to 14. So I just say that to say this, right? Signals are great, but signals are also like best case scenario. A lot of signals don't take into consideration that you might take a multiple jabs at the trade, right? Unless you're somebody that just is comfortable with stuff like this. I know people that do 1 to 3 type trades, right? And they have these huge stop losses, and that's fine. I'm not saying that that's wrong, but in order to get trades that are like 1 to 12, 1 to 13, right? 1 to 14 type of trades, it's typical to take another like a loss or two on the way to finding those big setups. So I do my best to educate my team on how to trade self-sufficiently. So that way, signal or not, you might swing twice to get the home run. But if you understand, like, and that's harder to do in a signal format than it is on just a personal trading format, right? So again, I straight up missed this. I'm not here to avoid accountability. I'm just letting you guys know that there is a difference between taking signals and being a trader that actually knows what they're looking at on their own. So signals are good when you get your feet wet. You got other stuff you got to do, but this should always be the mission to, be a self-sufficient trader. But I mean, parabolic move, fresh highs. I mean, I knew this was gonna happen, but I don't even think I expected it to go as high as it did. Um, I mean, we're talking well over 700 points, or is that? Yeah. So, I mean, huge move to say the least. See what else we got. So EuroCAD melted without tapping into my area of supply. So I was kind of disappointed about that. Um, so if you are a part of the community, you can actually delete the sell limit because it didn't quite tag us in. But now we see the markets continuing to drop. Feel like we'll probably break more lows, get the possibility for a bullish reversal this week, but I don't see much happening just yet. This is a trade that I caught. Very lucky to have caught this one. Spur of the moment decision. Like I wasn't even fully 100% prepared for it, but I ended up catching it a little later, like right here, because I wasn't prepared for the initial spike. But very beautiful setup to say the least. Again, these are the type of trades that I like. I can't hold over the weekend on my personal trading account, on my funded account. So I did end up closing this. I partialed out somewhere up here when I broke lows. Continued to go 1 to 11. Very nice. I do anticipate this will probably continue throughout the week. Just want to see a little bit of a retracement if possible. At this point, just looking for anything to get in. Nothing is really guaranteed at the velocity in which it's falling, but maybe if we can retrace back up into the 1.347 area, right? 1.347, I could see some sell-offs happening from there. The market did react off of demand, gave me a little hezzy, followed by a crossover where I would not be surprised if the market came back to this point. We could probably respect this area of supply. But again, that is a big if. Right now, the market is just melting, so I wouldn't necessarily put all my hopes and wishes into that re-entry. All right. So I'm looking for continuations on the sell side on UCAD. I'm looking for GU to make that push up. Although I do believe it'll probably drop right away. I do want to be disciplined in where I execute. So I'm just gonna wait for the buys. I'm not gonna sell into a buy, at least not yet. If we get a setup a little later tonight that can give me a potential sell, I'm willing to sell before the buy. But right now, I'm not gonna do that. All right. Again, Nas is just kind of taking off without me. GCAD was a setup I took a loss on. I wanted to sell, which ended up happening eventually. But my initial entry and stop loss was a little too tight. Um, should have really reassessed it after the fact, but I never got around to it. Because again, it could have been one of those situations where you take a jab and miss and then take a re-entry and make the money back. But with this, I do see GCAD continuing to drop. Similar situation with USD CAD. If we get a retracement into any one of these lower time frame supply zones, feel free to take it. All right. Gold, don't really see much if I'm being honest. We go over a few more of these pairs, and then we can call it a day. All right. AUD USD. Being honest, I'm probably I want to say bullish, but I'm just not sure where I would get in with this current price action that I see. And sometimes you just gotta wait for more price action to develop. There's not going to be a setup on every pair every day, and I just feel like it's one of those situations where it's like I know what direction it's going, but it's like, okay, where do you want to get in? Where do you really feel comfortable risking your money? That's what the conversation starts to become, right? Had a sell limit on Euro USD. It was going well, and then the market did reverse on us. This is why we always, when we start to break that internal structure, this is why it's important to adjust your stop loss as well, right? But we did end up taking this with a 5 pip stop. We lost. The market ended up dropping about 23, 24 pips. So didn't go as far as I wanted it to, but I mean, it still went almost a 1 to 5. So, I mean, it went over 1 to 4, almost 1 to 5. I was just hoping that we came and broke lows, right? So, again, this is why trade management is just important as trade selection, just because, you shouldn't be up a 1 to 4, almost 1 to 5, and still lose money, right? Even if you don't make money, because some people don't want to partial out at 1 to 5. I personally feel like it's always smart to at least secure partials around 1 to 5. If in the high 1 to 4s, like 1 to 4.5, or you right underneath 1 to 5, you can partial out, right? So in this instant, so this is 4.8, right? So it's right there. In that instant, I feel like it'd be smart to partial out because there's no guarantee that your market is going to hit its final target every single time. Nobody can guarantee that every single time they trade. So, in order to avoid unnecessary losses, that's just something that you got to do. All right. So, started out in our favor, eventually ended up reversing. Moving forward, I see the market probably continuing the bullish, eventually taking out this high. But we just gotta, at the moment, I don't see what I really need to see. So I'm gonna pass on that. We already talked about EuroCAD, Euro JPY. I could see a sell coming into this later in the day. Market created this Asia range right here, took highs, made new lows. Now the market is retracing, right? So I would not be surprised to see the market come somewhere into this area before it drops again. Considering that I don't see like a very specific candle that I want to take the trade from, this is the instant where it'd probably just be smart to use the 50%, right? The fact that, there's not like a super clear buy to sell that sticks out to me. In this instant, I'll just say the 50% would probably be the safest part. So I say like 161.6 would probably be a safe area to, at least start getting in some opportunities. All right. So stop loss is a bit on the larger side, talking about like 25 to 30 pips. So it is a bigger stop loss. But if you can hold it, if you can see this being a swing trade opportunity, there is the potential for us to drop, about 300 pips in my opinion. All right. So again, good risk management saves everything. Nothing's guaranteed. Just make sure you're trading the right way. All right. I don't see nothing on Euro AUD. Don't see nothing on Euro Chef. So we're good there. I'm gonna check these GBP pairs out and then we'll call it a day, guys. All right. So not a super long call today, honestly. To be honest, I think Euro NZD can drop, which it's already doing, but if it retraces enough, probably find a re-entry opportunity. Yeah, so if we can come back to like 7835 Euro NZD, you'll probably have a decent sell opportunity. I rarely trade this pair, but if the market does end up retracing, look for that area, that 7835. That could be a nice sell opportunity. But check these GBP pairs real quick, and then we can get on up out of here, all right? So we went over EuroCAD already. I'm gonna pretty much tell y'all the same thing with GCAD. The candlesticks aren't that clear, so I would just go off of like the 50% of the up thrust candle, pretty much, and try to start selling from there. All right. So I'd say 188.7. If you trade GJ, pay attention to 188.7. All right. That's the area or range that I'll be paying attention to. You can get in above that, even better. But this would be the area that I at least wait for to start even entertaining sales. All right. Already went over GCAD. All right, not seeing much here. Not seeing much here either. GN, same as Euro NZD. If we get a decent retracement, I can indeed see us taking a sell opportunity. If we can push up a little higher, I do think that we'll get a sell on GBP NZD. So a little bit of different selection of pairs today, right? Still waiting on GU, still waiting on NAS. Our setups are actually on Euro NZD and GBP NZD. So I'm gonna be honest, I rarely trade these pairs. So, I'm doing a weekly outlook, obviously, for everybody to, have a good outlook on all the pairs. I don't know what all y'all trade, and I don't know what everybody that's gonna watch the recording trades either. So I want to make sure we got some variety. But me personally, as an individual, I'll probably end up waiting for my other setups to happen, just because I don't want to start trading something I never trade just because the other pairs aren't ready yet, right? I don't know what your tolerance for patience is, but if you have patience, I would probably just wait it out. If you don't have patience, then you can trade GN or EN, all right? But honestly, guys, like I said, it wasn't meant to be a long call today. I've been wanting to be a little more efficient on these weekly outlets because weekly outlets don't have to be an hour and a half, 2 hours long, right? Quick 40 minutes. That should be good. You guys got a few pairs to look over. And we got even more that we got to wait on. All right. So, pretty slow to start the week, but I feel like we'll definitely kick up once we got more price action and more things developing to give us a little more to go off of. All right. So, I'm looking forward for that GU buy though. 26265. I believe that's the price point. Yeah. 26265. So definitely remember that price point. You'll hear it in the recording as well. So whenever we get back down here, be aware for that price, and we'll see what type of reactions we get. All right, fam. So I definitely appreciate you guys' evening or this afternoon, I should say. Looking forward to having a great week. If you're part of the community, let's have an awesome week. We have 3 New York sessions. We have 2 pre-London sessions, and we have 1 educational session. So we got a full jam-packed week ahead of us. So be on the lookout for those Zoom links. If you're calling in from the free chat, I definitely appreciate your time as well. But we also encourage you guys to join the Trade Genius community. We would love to have you and be able to grow alongside with you. And I would love the opportunity to educate y'all in these markets alongside with the rest of my community. All right. So other than that, we'll see you guys at the top. In front of the top, because the bottom is way too crowded. Much love. See you on the next call.